back, everyone. You're watching BNC Now. Well, if you are buying or selling a home, you know it's stressful enough, but imagine adding discrimination to that. Well, our next guests, Paula and Tenisha Austin, are here to tell us what happened to them. Welcome to BNC Now.
Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have you. Can you start off by telling us a little bit about where you live?
Yeah, we live in Marin City, California. That's located in the Bay Area. Marin City was one of the cities that back in 1942 that a lot of African American families from the South migrated to. And so my husband Paul is third generation Marin City resident.
Wow, that's great. Well, that's awesome. So tell us what exactly happened to you. You tried to sell your home and had to have it appraised?
We were actually in the refinance process. We weren't selling, but we had it appraised, and the appraisal came back in significantly lower than what we expected it to. And so then we pushed back. Our lender actually was supportive, considering the language that the appraiser used in the appraisal. And so we pushed back and asked for a second appraisal. Oftentimes you may not be granted a second appraisal. So we were fortunate enough that we were, after kind of documenting what we felt was, uncomfortable and racist about the appraisal.
Yeah.
And then we had a second appraisal, we were approved, and then we were like, okay, we got to do something differently so that we're not lowballed again.
And that's when we went and got one of our white friends.
What was the difference in the appraisal amount?
$500,000.
You off there.
No problem.
The
difference was
$500,000.
Yes.
That's
when we had, in order for us to get that, we had one of our white friends stand in and act like she was Tenisha, and she brought over pictures of her family, and we took down pictures of ours and got rid of all of our artwork that will resemble a Black family owning a home.
So who chose the appraiser who undervalued your home?
So we use a broker, and so we didn't go through a bank per se. So our broker, the way my understanding of it here is that there's a company or an overarching organization because of the crash in 2008 where brokers can't be directly aligned or associated with an appraiser. And so he was using a particular company here in Marin County, which is very, very small, very white and very affluent. There's a company that does the appraisals. And so they sent someone out, and this woman was like a 40 year, she had been appraising for 40 years. So I think she had a lot of bias around our property and around it being owned by African Americans and it being in a predominantly or historically African American community.
Yeah.
That is so sad to hear. So this may have happened to other people and they didn't even realize it. How did you know that your house was undervalued? How did you have an idea of how much it was worth in the first place?
Well, I mean, we did our work. We did our homework. We looked at the comps that was in the areas, and the amount of work that we did to our home. We just knew that it should appraise for much more than under $1 million, just by the comps that we looked at in the area, and the amount of work, like all the upgrades that we did, and the amount of money we put into this home.
Yeah, that's a critical point. You put the work into it, so you knew you weren't relying on other people. So that's great advice for people to know that they've got to kind of take matters into their own hands. Within the neighborhood, had you heard of this happening to anybody else? Or do you think that maybe it was just you, or you think indeed this is happening to a lot of people?
I think that in Marin County, it is very possible that it's happening to a lot of people. I think in Marin City, because it's so small, the what's available is limited. Like the number of properties are limited. But we, like Paul said, we had done our homework. Like I knew that the houses that were sold by white families were going for like 1.2, 1.7. So then, and that's in our same neighborhood. So then I know what the value of our home should be. So it went back to, okay, does it matter like who the homeowner is and the difference of the appraisal or the difference of the amount or the ability to sell your house for what it actually should be valued at.
So what made you think to, change all the pictures and take down the pictures of all the Black people in the house and that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, this isn't something new, right? Like, we both have an understanding of sometimes some of the hurdles you have to go through in order to get what you need as Black people. And this was just one of those hurdles that we wasn't going to allow to stand in our way. I know in the past, my wife and our friend Jan McDougall had to do something similar with a grocery store in regards to buying gift cards, where my wife was turned down, but our white friend Jan McDougall wasn't turned down. Um, and so it's something that happens in general. It just happens at different levels, right? So it could be from the grocery store, them denying her buying gift cards for her girls that she worked with, to us in the appraisal issue.
Yeah, and with the appraisal issue, you could have been out $500,000. That's huge. Was there anybody that you could complain to, file a complaint, or check somebody's license, or go to the broker? Was there anything for you to alert other people and try to get some justice?
That's a great question. And that's why we appreciate the opportunity to be able to share our story. Because as you're going through the process, you're just like, oh, here's another situation. And you don't really know what your avenues are, to pursue justice in that regard. We just were like happy that we got the second appraisal and then we got the amount of money or the number that we needed. So I think now that the story has become like national and global, we're starting to get a lot of people that are saying we're willing to help or support you in pursuing justice. And we really want to share their story so that other people will know about it. And we know that we're not the only couple that's experienced this. We understand that systemic racism is insidious, and we want to make sure that that this message is amplified so people can realize that these aren't issues that were just back in the day or historically in our country or historically in Marin County or historically in Marin City, but they're present day problems that we need to address.
Yeah, I call it modern day redlining.
Difficult to hear that. Yeah, Paul, go ahead. You were saying?
I was just saying, I call it modern day redlining.
Yeah, that's an actual term, redlining. You're absolutely right. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us. I hope that you're able to file some sort of complaint against that appraiser so that they can't do that to anybody else. But it is important that you share this with people so they know to at least be on guard and do what you did and seek a second appraisal. So thank you so much, Paul and Tenisha, for sharing your story with us today on BNC Now.
No problem. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Take care. Well, stay with us.